Hi, this is Lee with Crashtesthobby. Let's build a Vertigo. Vertigo is an FPV racer or a great sport plane for flying around the park. Here's the parts that you'll see in the kit. And you start by cleaning off the cut fibers and gluing the two core halves together. I like to use low temperature hot glue. Now measuring back 7¼ inches from the nose, I then cut a slit for a razor with a razor blade on the bottom of the plane. This is for the flat carbon spar, which I'm going to sand and then press into the slit. Make sure the entire spar is below the surface. Then put baking soda along the spar, which I use a Basting syringe for, and work the baking soda into the slit. And then get the excess off of the top. I use my compressor to do this, but that keeps it from making a hard crystal layer along the top of the spar. And then I use thin CA glue to go along the spar and glue the spar in place. Using a razor blade, I go around the perimeter of the plane and cut a slit for our shock cord. This helps to keep the plane intact and together. If it crashes nose first into the ground, keeps it from splitting between the elevons. Then I use a pin, slide the shock cord through the front of the pin after taking it apart, and that pin will guide that shock cord right into that slit, slick as a whistle. Just goes around the outside perimeter, and I'm using my hand to create tension on that string as it goes through. But this is a very good way to get that string into position. Now here, the slit was not exactly right, so I took a razor blade and corrected it here. But once you're completed in an entire circuit, pull the shock cord tight and tie it at the nose. I like to use quick grip or CA glue and baking soda to glue the shock cord in place. Quick grip has actually become my favorite. It's quick. It also leaves kind of a rubbery edge around and glues the foam together very well. It's available on Amazon. Occasionally it's available at Walmart and other retailers. But it works very well and is quick, dries in about 3 or 4 hours to where you can handle the plane. I'm now going to glue the Formica or laminate piece on the bottom. You need to center it and make sure that you have prop clearance on both sides. That's why the motor was checked there, because I scoot it back just a little bit from there. It hangs over the back just a tiny bit on the cores. Now we're going to flip it over and put a laminate piece on the top. We do this because people are using a lot bigger motors on this at times. And also you can run a bolt up through if you want to, and bolt through from the top to the bottom. So always apply the glue to the foam, not to the laminate, or it will instantly harden. And it sticks very well to the foam with the hot glue. Now I put a red dot on the top and you can see the spar on the bottom, so you can keep track of which side of plane we're looking at. Starting at the spar, I use the extreme tape all the way from the spar to the front of the plane. Extreme tape keeps the plane from breaking apart. It's a necessary part of the build. On the top, I'm only going to show you initially the front part here, but I do put tape across on the top of the spar. It acts like an I-beam to keep the plane from flexing. I'm going to apply some strips that go down the leading edge. This not only keeps the leading edge from chipping and breaking if you hit something, but it also makes a wraparound box on the front of the wing and stiffens the wing. With this and the laminate, the way we do it, you will be able to have a very strong plane without adding a lot of weight. But this is 2-inch wide Scotch Extreme tape that you're seeing in use here. Once you get used to handling it, it's pretty easy to do. Now I'm going to put a small strip across the bottom that will be between the elevons. This is the weakest part of the plane. Something I do just because this is where the plane will tear and I'm trying to tie the elevons into the main body. You see that's on the bottom. On the top now I'm putting a strip across that will be exactly above the spar and help to keep the negative g-forces under control on the plane. And the core itself is fairly stiff like this, but the laminate will add a lot more stiffness. Now going to mount the motor, and even though I don't have it laminated, I'm going to take this back off. What I'm going to do is mount the motor so that I can see the exact configuration for the elevons. You have to know the clearance here. You want about a 1/2-inch clearance between the elevons and the prop, so you need to know where the prop's going to be. Now taking the elevon material, I mark a 1/2 inch away from the prop, and just using scissors you can cut this. Now make sure you make a top and a bottom elevon. I've seen several times that people cut 2 rights or 2 lefts. I don't mean top and bottom, I mean right and left elevon. But make sure that you trim them so that the tops are together, and then you'll end up with one for each side. So what we'll do now is we'll measure here and we'll create the inside angle here. And I'm just using the tip angle to go over to the inside angle so that the two will fit well together. This concludes the basic foam construction on the Vertigo. Great plane to fly, tons of fun, stable as can be. Thank you. This is Lee from Crash Test Hobby.